Hi, my name's Teresa. This is episode 1 of Heal It For Real. So, this broadcast is coming to you from my heart because I struggled with a chronic infectious disease for 17 years. And so I have a lot of experience with healing, with suffering, with trying things, and I'd like to share that in case it will help somebody else. So recently I decided that I was done with this illness. I was like, I'm just not going to deal with it anymore. I disowned the label and I stopped talking about myself in terms of that illness. And I didn't even really want to hear anything about it. So I got rid of all my books about it. And if people tried to talk to me about it, I would just say, I don't know about that stuff anymore. I'm sorry. Because I didn't even want to have anything to do with it. I didn't want to call it in. I didn't want to entertain it anymore. And at that time, it felt like that was the best way for me to empower myself. The funny thing is, there's a destiny, and there's a fate, and there's a karma that's playing out on a level that's far more mysterious and intelligent than what I could plan or understand. And so I was basically instructed from my spirit to share these videos, to start this channel, and to share my experience with the world, and to try to broadcast this, and in hopes that somebody could watch this and get some help for themselves, and that they could hear my experience and see my face and empower themselves to heal it for real. So ultimately I have a responsibility, I feel, to my brothers and sisters that could be struggling, could be suffering, that might find something helpful by listening to me and to my experience. So that's why I'm sharing this. It's coming from the heart. I'm not going to try to sell you any supplements. I swear. Oh Lord, don't get me started. So I'm going to be really real on this channel. I might cuss a little because I get passionate. So if that offends you, I'm sorry. And it is my deepest hope and my prayer that my experience and my words could reach somebody that's in a dark place and help them to have some hope for themselves. So I hope that people can learn from me and from my experience and from my mistakes and from the wisdom that I've gained. So that's a little bit about how this came into being. I don't have a script. I don't have any notes. This is just me being for real. It was like Spirit was just telling me, you have to do this. You have to do this. And I was like, I don't have time. I always had an excuse. And so now I'm just really fired up about it. And I'm feeling really inspired to start getting this out there. So I'm going to try to keep these broadcasts under 10 minutes. And if you find this helpful, or you think you might know somebody that will find this helpful, please pass it along. Please share it. It's only my intention to be of service and to offer hope and help. So that's the intention behind this broadcast. Another thing I want to say as a disclaimer is that I'm going to be talking to myself a lot, telling myself things that I need to hear. So I don't want you to feel like I'm preaching at you. These are things that I'm learning. I'm just a beginner here, catching on. And the reason why I say heal it for real is because I feel like a lot of people get taken for a really serious ride through all kinds of different establishments by people who have all kinds of different motives to only heal part of the way, or to medicate their symptoms, or to suppress, or put a lid on the problem, the symptoms, you know. I feel like healing it for real is about going to the root cause and going into the depths, going deep. So that's what we're going to be dealing with here, is going really deep, looking at the psycho, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, whole picture in the different layers where illness manifests, takes root, develops, and is healed. So they say it's like peeling an onion, healing layer by layer. It's very unpredictable. It's a total roller coaster ride. It can get crazy. So my audience, really, I feel this is going to be helpful and speak to people who have infectious, tick-borne infectious diseases, people who have autoimmune diseases, people who feel that they're dealing with any kind of a parasitical life form, people who have been given diagnoses that are supposedly incurable or terminal, people who've been told in one way or another that they can't heal, people who have lost their hope and given up on themselves, people that are feeling suicidal. And also I would include in my audience people who are just feeling sensitive, people who are not feeling well and they don't know why, people who are fed up with the way they're being treated in the Western medical establishment, and yeah, those people who are feeling psychically attacked or having boundary problems. See, this has been one of the underlying themes from my healing, is boundaries and taking my power back. So I think that these broadcasts could help and could speak to a lot of different kinds of people. Lyme disease alone is an epidemic more prevalent than AIDS. So if you know anybody struggling with that, send them here, because we're going to be breaking it down and talking about the energetic imprint of these organisms. We're going to be talking about some symptom management. I'll give some tips and hints of things that I have found helpful. But mostly we're going to talk about healing it for real, getting to the root. So I will start you off with just a little download of a few key things to start with, in case you're hurting today, in case you're having a hard day, in case you're herxing, you're detoxing, you're having a flare-up, or maybe you're just feeling like shit. Maybe you're at rock bottom. So I'm speaking to you because I know how that feels. I've been there a million times, and I've been on the floor crying, and I've been in the hospital, and I've thought that I was going to lose my life so many times, and I've wanted to die because I felt so sick and I was in so much pain so many times. But I want to start off by telling you that what I've learned about these parasitical diseases, and the reason why I include Lyme disease in that is because it comes from a tick who sucks your blood, first of all, and second of all, just the energetic imprint of it, the way I experience it in my body, it feels like a parasite. Parasitical energy forms like this, whether they're physical or, let's say, spiritual, or if that's too much of a stretch for you, call it energetic or psychic. Parasites feed on fear. That's what they eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They feed on fear and despair, hopelessness. Those lower vibrational emotions are going to make you lose a lot of energy. That includes panic and anxiety. And the first time that this information was presented to me, it was really hard for me to hear. Because I was like, well, I'm doing my best, and you're trying to say that it's my fault and I'm making it worse? And it's like, calm down. I'm not saying any of that. There's no shame, no blame, no guilt. There's no room for any of that here. I'm just explaining the reality of what feeds this illness and what defeats it. So fear, despair, hopelessness, wanting to die feeds it. Another thing that feeds it is over-identification with it. Okay? I'm not the only one who says this. This is a very common experience. This disease wants you to feel like you are it. It's ugly, gross, wretched thing. Okay? It wants you to feel that way. Like an insect. It wants you to feel powerless. And it wants you to feel like you are a disease. Okay, so the things that starve it out, destroy it, obliterate it, transmute it: love, joy, hope, hopefulness, compassion, forgiveness. But most of all, I'm telling you, it's joy. Put a smile on your face. Find something to love. Find something that makes your heart sing. Hold on to that. Hold on to your love for yourself, because that will destroy this disease. It will destroy it. Gratitude is another one of those high vibrational emotions. And in the face of those kinds of frequencies, these diseases just melt. They become destroyed. It's like the violet fire that transmutes. It burns it up. So, hand all those negative emotions over to the fire. That despair and that fear, I get it. And that guilt, I get it. It's hard. But keep handing it over. And keep reaching for that other thing. Even if you don't even know what it feels like. Even if you can't even remember the last time you felt good. Or that you smiled, or that you laughed at something, or that you loved your life and wanted to keep living. Even if that feeling is so like a distant memory to you, pull it up from somewhere. I know you've got it in you. I know you love your life. I know you want to heal for real. So pull it up and focus on it with all of your power. And do not lose sight of that, because that is your entry point. That's your gateway. That's your doorway into your healing and into your long, happy, healthy, awesome, fun life where all your dreams come true. Okay? So don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Pull yourself out of that spiral. Start somewhere. Baby steps. Find something that makes you happy and do it. So that's my starting point. That's my advice to you today. Take back your power. Put a smile on your face. And we're going to heal it for real. I believe in you.